Hey guys, Andrew Shrout. I'm here in the sideboard. I'm sitting with David McDarby. How's it going, man?
Good, How are you doing, Andrew?
I am doing great.
Excellent.
And you're off to a pretty good start here.
Yeah.
With a 60 card deck.
It's not 100.
Yeah.
I'm 40 short.
Kind of stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, well, they don't run opens for Commander, so I'm forced to abide by them.
So you are playing Standard.
Yes.
You're playing Temur.
Temur. Well,
mid-range.
Temur. I like to call it Primal Izzet.
Okay.
Because it's Izzet with a splash of green. More of
enough.
a splash, actually, mainly green, but you know.
Okay, so tell me a little about why you chose to play this particular build.
I want to play one card in particular, Anger of the Gods.
Right.
This card I want to play. Hornet Queen is kind of ruining the roost. People, it's mid-range party all the time. And how do you beat mid-range? Well, you can go a little bit bigger, like Hornet Queen. And how do you beat a Hornet Queen?
You kill all the things.
You kill all the things. Also, what if you had a threat on board at the same time? When you kill all the things.
You don't kill your thing, you kill their thing.
And then I kill them with those things.
All right.
Yeah, so that's why I want to play Temur. The green gives you creatures with big butts, and I can kill everything else except for my creatures, and then win from there.
Okay, so you're playing the full 4 Anger of the Gods.
Yes, this deck is awkward because it's a mid-range deck with the mini Wrath of God, so it's not good against a lot of decks, but the decks it's good against, you will just win the game by casting it. You know, token decks. The main thing, the token deck that came from World Championship, Yuya's Watanabe's deck. This deck is good against that, at least I think, because I've got main deck Angers and these big guys, you know.
Okay, so you mentioned you wanted to play green creatures to go with your Anger of the Gods. Part of what comes with playing green creatures is you have to play Sylvan Caryatid, which you are doing. You have the full 4 Sylvan Caryatid, 4 Anger of the Gods combo.
Yes, it is a combo. It does have a 3 down here, but decks historically have played Wrath of God and Baneslayer range before.
Sure.
The decks that are Anger of the Gods are good against, like Sylvan Caryatid is also probably good against, and you don't have to cast your Anger of the Gods, but Caryatid allows you to get a nut draw of turn 3 Knuckleblade, Savage Knuckleblade, and then attack, and that's really, Knuckleblade is amazing this format right now. You can't Disdainful Stroke him, you can't Lightning Strike him, he survives a lot of stuff, he can get stoked, but hey, you know. Yeah, everything has a weakness.
I brought up Caryatid. That's the one creature you have that actually does die to the anger.
Yes.
The rest of your creatures don't.
They got 4 toughness.
Yeah,
at least.
You've got 4 Savage Knuckleblade.
Yep.
4 Pulachronos, and then 2 Stormwrath Dragon.
Yes. I also have 4 Courser of Crucifix.
I knew I was missing
one.
But
you know, Caryatid does not really go far without Courser behind her.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Courser of Crucifix, of course, the kind of the yin to Sylvan Caryatid Yang.
He is. It's most awkward in this deck because I play Courser and flip perhaps a counterspell of sorts.
Right.
But they know it's coming. But it gains life. It defends. You know.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about it.
You just have to have, and it does survive anger.
It does survive anger. Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about the threats. The rest of your spell selection. You actually have a lot of counters. 7 counter spells total. You have 2 Temur Charm, 2 Disdainful Stroke, and 3 Stubborn Denial.
Yeah, Temur Charm I'm only playing 2 because this deck isn't super duper aggressive like the small Temur list with 2/2 Death Touch guy, Air of the Wilds and such.
Yeah.
But it is a counter spell and it does kill things. Like it allows me to kill Siege Rhino. That one's kind of tough for me to kill. But if I have a 4 power creature, a Knuckleblade or a Pulachronos, I'm able to kill a Siege Rhino.
Okay.
And it is a mana leak. It is 3 mana, but that's why I'm playing 2. Stubborn Denial is amazing. This is the deck to play Stubborn Denial is. It's 1 mana every single part of the time. It's a straight up negate for 1 mana. It's the reason to play this deck. That and Knuckleblade.
Okay. And then rounding out the spells, you have a little bit of burn to tie things together.
Yeah, I play 3 Lightning Strikes, only 3, not 4, because it's a necessary evil with Mana Striders and Rabble Masters and Seekers of the Ways. All this nonsense. You gotta have it. Sometimes you can get that reach, but usually I board them out, usually.
Okay. 2 Creator's Claws. Sometimes you gotta fireball people, right?
Sometimes you just, my only out is Fireball, and it's a pretty good Fireball. Instead of 1 less than the mana I put into it, it's 2 more usually.
Okay.
And that's pretty powerful.
All right.
It's no Devil's Play, but
And then the last 2 spells, and we'll kind of, this will be the fancy segue into the sideboard, because you have 2 Dig Through Times in the main, and then a 3rd in the board.
Yes.
So tell me a little about how this card has been for you and kind of how it works with the rest of your deck.
Well, I think I've only cast it once, but Dig Through Time ties everything together. This kind of deck, you got to understand your role. Are you control? Are you going to aggro them before they cast their big spells you can't deal with? What are you trying to do? So that one really, if you need a Fireball to kill them, or get some reach, you can get that. If you need to find more counter spells, it's good for that. This deck oftentimes will morph into a more controlling deck once I know exactly what I want to control. Do I want more Wraths? Do I want more counter spells? And this can let me find exactly what I need.
Okay. And so out of the sideboard, you have more counter spells.
Yes.
2 negates, and then 2 more. The full 4 Disdainful Strokes.
Disdainful Stroke is an amazing card right now. It counters Siege Rhino. Most everything cannot kill it without some residue laying behind it from Siege Rhino. It counters Whip of Erebos, counters Hornet Queen, everything, All
right. And then, of course, the 3rd dig to kind of let you play the longer game.
Yep.
2 Xenagos the Reveler. That is, that's kind of been a stock, Planeswalker to bring in when you're trying to be more controlling.
Well,
but you mentioned that you were actually trying to do something different.
It's actually the aggro card when I go up against decks that are more controlling than me, like decks with 4 dig through time, so blue-white or blue-black or Esper or what have you. It gives me another threat that it's hard for them to deal with. It can be that, it can be Nisa, really either one of those. I can't use the mana in this deck as well as certain decks that like have Hornet Queen, but I can, pump up the mana, Fireball or Monstrous or Stormbreath Dragon or something.
Okay. And then there were 2 remaining cards in the sideboard that really stuck out to me as kind of like interesting pinpoint answers.
Yes.
So you have 2 Scour the Sands.
Scouring Sands. Scouring.
You have Scour the Sands written on your deck list, by the way.
Well, I hope I don't get in trouble for that.
All right. Two Scouring Sands.
Yeah.
And 2 Burnaways.
Burn-away. Okay. If you haven't seen this card, All-Star of Khans of Tarkir Limited. So what it does, it's 6 damage to a creature. That kills, everything.
Yep.
They're not playing something with 7 toughness or more.
Right.
I can't think of a card. Tree of Redemption, that's not legal. So it kills anything. Also, the whip decks that are very popular, Obzon Whip, Glenn Jones style, CDC Whip, other people's style. Either way, it's how you interact with them. Blue and red have notoriously been known for not having graveyard interaction. They deal with the stack, not with the graveyard. That's green and black and maybe white's kind of thing.
Sure.
But we finally have a way to get rid of those nasty Golgari mages, get those cards out of there, and really, not have to splash for a colorless sort of graveyard removal.
Okay, fair enough. Talk to me a little bit about what you're hoping to play against and what you're kind of hoping to avoid when you're playing a deck.
Decks that Anger of the Gods are good against. So lots of little weak guys. Just Ascendancy is sometimes trouble, but hopefully I can rein that in and be tricky. Stubborn Denial is very tricky,
Sure.
Like, you'll catch them off guard with that. I do not want to play against decks that my red spells are bad against. So like blue-black, game 1 is not very good.
Gotcha.
I've got 4 Angers, 3 Lightning Strikes. Creator's Claws are serviceable, but not exciting.
Okay.
And I can have a bad draw versus them. But yeah, I have 2 Back to Natures in my sideboard. A lot of people play Destructive Revelry. This isn't exactly quite an aggro deck. It can be aggro. You got to morph. It's Temur.
Sure.
Temur's known for being like water.
Right.
Just be what you need to be.
All right.
Back to Nature, if they have a whip and a Courser, or a whip and a Doomwake Giant, tons of stuff, it kills all of that. Yes, I have Courser as well, but like before, I don't have to cast if I have a Courser. And a lot of times, I won't care if I get all their enchantments out.
Yeah, for sure. This is not a deck that cares about dealing them an extra 2 with Destructive Revelry.
And Back to Nature does kill everything if they've got 2 enchantments in play.
Okay.
Get that value, as the kids call it nowadays.
Fair enough. And you've gotten a good bit amount of value yourself. You're off to a 4-0 start.
Yeah.
So
I've been pretty lucky, and I like playing these colors.
Fair enough. I'll be rooting for you, man.
Thank you, Andrew.
Stick around. We've got plenty more coverage coming at the Standard Open here in Portland.